Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about how to make your one-on-one chat more effective with your managers. As a UX designer, I don't think I have ever received any formal training or coaching. How should I actually host my one-on-one chat with managers? There are a lot of questions I've also been hearing. What should I talk about? What should I not talk about? What is my manager's expectation? So I really wanted to share some of my learnings on this topic in this video, and also sharing some tips on how you might be able to make your one-on-one chat with your managers more effective. Before I jump in, just a quick reminder, I share everything about UX, from career growth tips to portfolio reviews, design crits on my channel. So if you are interested in this type of content, please feel free to hit the subscribe so you won't miss any of my future content. Okay, so first let's talk about what is one-on-one not about. This is one of those things that as a designer, I don't think I have received any formal training or coaching on how should I organize or host my one-on-one chat with my managers. And one misconception that I have had throughout many years is I try to list of all things that I have been working on, and I tend to use my one-on-one chat quite like a status update, basically sharing what I've been working on and the projects, where they are, what are some latest changes or the latest updates. One thing that I learned as I grow is one-on-one chat is not about status update. It is not about sharing what you're working on or how hard you're working. And managers are just different role, like many others on the team or in an organization. And think of them as a resource that you can actually rely on to help you out. For example, if you feel overwhelmed by the workload, use the one-on-one and ask for help, like what might be some recommendations you have to help you better prioritize. And also, if you feel challenged, you should talk to your manager, and your manager will be there to help you find maybe bigger or more complex opportunities. There are many different ways you can do a status update offline, through document, comment, in a deck, or whichever way as you want. But one-on-one chat, usually maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes. This is actually a really precious time that you should own and take the full control that what you want to use this time for. So let's talk about what one-on-one is about. So first of all, I think one-on-one is about visibility and building trust with your manager. And most importantly, solving the problem that you're facing. Managers want to stay updated with what you're working on. What are some of the latest, most important projects that you are on top of? Having the visibility is important, not meaning like a full status update, but keep them in the loop, like where you are and what you have been working on is important. But most importantly is what are there things you need help? To have a discussion that what are some challenges you are facing and how your managers might be able to help you and the team be more effective. I think one-on-one is not for the manager, they are for you. It's really, I think, up to you, and you should own the schedule, own the agenda, own the topic. Spend some time ahead and think about how you actually want to spend the time. So a couple of tips I want to share with you how you might be able to make your one-on-one conversations more effective. The first one is own your agenda. I have tried many different ways. In the past, I tend to list like the topic or projects I want to talk about, whether it's an FYI or it's questions that require discussion. But one structure that I found really effective is actually separate the FYI and the discussion part. So, the FYI part, you don't really need to spend any time during your one-on-one chat. It's purely some bullet point of critical updates on the area or projects that you have been leading or working on. So that's why I think separating the two, FYI versus discussion, is actually going to help you to be able to focus on the most important things during this one-on-one chat. So up to you. Feel free to explore different structure, but think about it. Maybe you can try it out. The same structure that I just talked about. Have one section, just list out some update as an FYI, but then actually focus on the most critical part that you want to spend a live chat with your manager on discussing about. Another tip I think is really important to understand is understand the goal. What do you want to get out of this one-on-one conversation with your manager? Are you trying to build a trust? Like maybe you're new to the organization, new to the team, and you want to build up some credit, or you are on the path that you want to help your manager understand that you're ready for a promo, and you want to discuss more like how you might get your manager's support on that. So I think to understand where you are in your journey, and so you have a long-term goal and also a near-term, like what are you trying to get out from those one-on-one conversations with your manager, can be really helpful. So sometimes I hear people asking, should one-on-one be mostly focused on what I have accomplished rather than what I have been struggling with? If I share things about the challenge or difficulties I'm facing, will that actually hurt your career if by admitting that you're struggling with something? People might have different opinion, but my answer is no. Your manager's job is there to help you, support you, especially unblock when you are feeling struggled or blocked by something. So have that straightforward communication is really critical to avoid misunderstanding, misalignment, and also it's actually, I think, a critical part to help you build trust with your manager and have a really healthy relationship. So on this topic, my next tip is actually build the trust. I think at the end of the day, one-on-one chat is two partners involved between you and your manager. Of course, they're there to help you. And I think on the other hand, it's really important also for you to have an open mind so you can understand what's your manager's top challenge and struggles. What are they worried about? What are things that keep them awake at night? What are some top priorities they have for the team? One-on-one chat is a perfect opportunity for you to have those kind of conversations with your managers, so that not only is a place that they can understand your struggle to help you, but also for you to actually understand beyond your immediate project scope, what is the team or what is the organization's priorities. So that's a really valuable information. Once you find that out and understand your manager's thoughts, that can also help you often in your everyday work better prioritize and also keep a more strategic thinking, discover or explore new opportunities, so that can help your efforts best aligned with the team's priorities. So build a trust with your manager in those one-on-one conversations. Okay, the last tip I have for you is be specific. When you get to those career chat or one-on-one chat where you try to seek feedback from your manager to get some idea of how you're doing or how they think you're doing, how should you actually ask the question? What I have learned is asking a question that, what can I do better, is often not the most effective way to get constructive feedback. Why? Because it's just too general. Think about if someone comes to you for help or advice and they're just throwing this question in front of you. Where do you think I can do better? What will be your reaction, right? It's too broad. So my point is, if you're trying to get feedback from your manager or from somebody else, try to be very specific. For example, ask your manager, when we worked on this project together, what do you think of how it went? Where you think I might be able to improve next time? Create a context, use some example, and help your manager to be able to give you constructive feedback. Because sometimes if you just ask super broad, hey, how can I improve? It might be really hard for someone to give you a good advice because they don't want to hurt you, first of all. They might keep the answer very general and high level, and it's really hard for you to understand how do they actually feel of how you're doing. And at the end of the day, when a question is put up too general or too broad, it is really hard to provide specific, meaningful feedback that you're seeking for. So guide the conversation and dig deeper by helping your manager in a conversation to create some context, create some background, and be very specific about what you're asking about. From there, dig deeper. I'm sure you will be able to find out way more how you will be able to continue to improve. This is kind of similar to research. Sometimes it might be really hard if you're trying to find out how users' reaction or feedback about a product, just asking them, how do you like the product? You might have to create some scenario. I'm just making this up. Say, for example, you're evaluating some product like a online food delivering service, like DoorDash. Instead of asking in a user interview, how do you like the product? The other way to ask the question, gain insights, is tell me about the last time you ordered some food online for delivery. How was your experience? How did it go? So this is just an example, hopefully help your thinking process to practice how to rephrase your question, make it more specific, and help your manager be able to provide you more specific and valuable feedback. Okay, so I think that's all I have for today. We talked about some misconceptions about for one-on-one chat and what it's not about versus what it is actually about, and also some helpful tips of how you might be able to make your one-on-one chats more effective with your managers. And at the end, I just wanted to share with you this book. It's called The Making of a Manager by Julie Zhuo. This book talks about what is management, your first 3 months leading a small team, the art of feedback, how to make amazing meetings, and more. I think this book is really helpful no matter you are currently a IC or manager. It offers so much insights, and it gives a lot of hands-on practical advice that you can put into your everyday work. So highly recommend it if you haven't read it. Well, that's all I have for today. And if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to share with me. I would love to hear from you. So I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.